Hello. So I got up, had to go potty, and was thirsty, got a drink, and couldn't go back to sleep. And I thought, okay, so God wants me to do my video. So, all right. So Gideon conquers Midian's kings. Now the men of Ephraim said to him, "Why have you done this to us by not calling us when you went to fight with the Midianites?" And they reprimanded him sharply. So he said to them, "What have I done now in comparison with you? Is not the gleaning of the grapes of Ephraim better than the vintage of Abiezer? God has delivered into your hands the princes of Midian, Oreb and Zeb. And what was I able to do in comparison with you?" Then their anger toward him subsided when he said that. When Gideon came to the Jordan, he and the 300 men who were with him crossed over, exhausted but still in pursuit. So they're tired. They're like, "We're ready for sleep." Then he said to the men of Succoth, "Please give loaves of bread to the people who follow me, for they are exhausted, and I am pursuing Zebah and Zalmunna, kings of Midian." And the leaders of Succoth said, "Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in your hand, that we should give bread to your army?" So Gibeon said, "For this cause, when the Lord has delivered Zebah and Zalmunna into my hand, then I will tear your flesh with the thorns of the wilderness and with briars." That's a threat right there. Then he went up from there to Penuel and spoke to them in the same way. And the men of Penuel answered him as the men of Succoth had answered. So we also spoke to the men of Penuel, saying, "When I come back in peace, I will tear down this tower." Now Zebah and Zalmunna were at Karkor, and their armies with them, about 15,000, all who were left of all the army of the people of the east. For 120,000 men who drew the sword had fallen. Then Gibeon went up by the road of these who dwell in tents on the east of Nobah and Jogbehah, and he attacked the army while the camp felt secure. So they're thinking, "Oh no, it's going to attack us. We're good." Then he got them. When Zebah and Zalmunna fled, he pursued them, and he took the 2 kings of Midian, Zebah and Zalmunna, and routed the whole army. Then Gideon, the son of Joash, returned from battle and from the ascent of Heres. And he caught a young man of the men of Succoth and interrogated him. And he wrote down for him the leaders of Succoth and its elders, 77 men. So that's a lot of people. Then he came to the men of Succoth and said, "Here are Zebah and Zalmunna, about whom you ridiculed me, saying, 'Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in your hand, that we should give bread to your weary men?'" And he took the elders of the city, and thorns of the wilderness, and briars, and with them he taught the men of Succoth. I like that. And with them he taught them. He taught them a lesson. Okay. Then he tore down the tower of Penuel and killed the men of the city. And he said to Zebah and Zalmunna, "What kind of men were they whom you killed at Tabor?" So they answered, "As you are, so were they. Each one resembled the son of a king." Then he said, "They were my brothers, the sons of my mother. As the Lord lives, if you had let them live, I would not kill you." So he's like, "You took out my family, I'm taking you out now." And he said to Jether's firstborn, "Rise, kill them." But the youth would not draw his sword, for he was afraid because he was still a youth. So, I wouldn't want to kill nobody. I'd be like, no. Now, if somebody messed with my kids, then yeah. Outside of that, I know. So Zebah and Zalmunna said, "Arise yourself and kill us, for as a man is, so is his strength." So Gideon arose and killed Zebah and Zalmunna, and took the crescent ornaments, okay, so they must have worshipped the moon maybe, that were on their camels' necks. Then the men of Israel said to Gideon, "Rule over us, both you and your son, and your grandson also." So he was an old man by then, okay? "For you have delivered us from the hand of Midian." But Gideon said to them, I will not rule over you, nor shall my son rule over you. The Lord shall rule. I like that. The Lord shall rule over you. Then Gideon said to them, I would like to make a request of you, that each of you would give me the earrings from his plunder. For they had golden earrings because they were Ishmaelites. Okay, so that's the son of Ishmael. The you know, because, God promised Abraham that he would make, big tribes out of Ishmael. So, I gotta pull my note. Give me a minute. Okay. And here I am. So they answered, We will gladly give them. And they spread out a garment, and each man threw into it the earrings from his plunder. Now the weight of the gold earrings that he requested was 1,700 shekels of gold, besides the crescent ornaments. So that's a lot. Pendants of gold, pendants, and purple robes, which were on the kings of Midian, and besides the chains that were around their camels' necks. Then Gideon made it into an ephod and set it up in a city, Ophrah, and all Israel played harlot with it there. Oh no. So here, he made something out of it, and now they're worshiping that. After he just said, the Lord will be your God, It became a snare to Gideon and to his house. So even Gideon started that after he said, by the Lord. And now they're worshiping that stuff. So quick. Thus Midian was subdued before the children of Israel, so that they lifted their heads no more. And the country was quiet for 40 years in the days of Gideon. Then Jerubbaal, the son of Joash, went and dwelt in his own house. So I wonder what that means. Gideon had 70 sons who were his own offspring, for he had many wives. So he must have married a lot of women. Okay. Probably from his plunders, but I'm assuming. I could be wrong. And his concubine, who was in Shechem, also bore him a son, whose name he called Abimelech. Now Gideon, the son of Joash, died at a good old age, and he was buried in the tomb of Joash his father, in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. So it was, as soon as Gideon was dead, the children of Israel again played the harlot with the Baals, and so now they're worshiping the Baals as well, and made Baal-berith their god. Okay. Thus the children of Israel did not remember the Lord their God, who had delivered them from the hands of all their enemies on every side. How can they forget God so quick? I mean, I got struggles. We got money struggles, but I don't just go, well, I guess God's not here today because we're having money struggles. I know he's still here. He helped me before, like when I broke my arm. If I wouldn't have broke my arm, which it was a horrible, horrible thing, but if I would not have broke my arm, I wouldn't have had the money to fix my car, because around Christmas, because last year, March, I broke my arm. I ended up getting a settlement, from breaking my arm. And that money, really most of it, went to fixing my car. Because around Christmas time, my car broke down. And if I wouldn't have broke my arm, I wouldn't have had money to fix my car. I'd be hoofing it. So, God can bring good things out of a bad situation. So. Nor did they show kindness to the house of Jerubbaal, Gideon, in accordance with the good he had done for Israel. So they had no more kindness for him. They're like, yep, you rescued us. Yep, God got us out of here. Now we're going to forget him. We're going to forget you. We're going to do our own thing. And that's how it is. When people need you, they know who you are when they need you. When they don't need you no more, it's like, who are you? Where are you? And that's how people are. It's sad, but that's how they are. You know, they're like that with God. They're like that with people. It just never, it's the same story. People never change. After years and years of human history, people have never changed. People are still the same. It's kind of crazy. It's like, that's why the Bible is so relevant. People think, oh, it's old and ancient. If you read the Bible, you'd be like, dang, people are still doing this stuff today. They still act like this today. It's all the same because we're still people. A lot of people are still prone to their own vices and whatever it is that they're prone to do. You don't got Jesus in your life, you're going to be prone to any kind of fault and failure. It just is. So, but anyway, so that's that. We'll see what happens next. Next is going to be Abimelech's wickedness and downfall. So now Abimelech is going to fall. So, I'm telling you, you'll see. The more we get through this Bible, you'll see people do not change. People are still the same way now that they were since God created humans. So, yeah, but you'll see the good part, the redemption part, and that's Jesus, and he's coming. You'll see. So, have a good morning. Let's see, it's Wednesday. Ooh, Wednesday, hump day. The week's almost over. Just 2 more days to go. Then we got the weekend. Yay. Bye-bye.